Yeah, check the mic. Word up. OGBigsam holds the crown. With the fam, we run the town. Mad Monday with the general. Every move is fundamental. Wicked T Wednesday. Fridays high noon madness. Master content agility. Avoiding all the sadness. Always tune in to the network. Mr. White.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the People's OG, aka Mr. White. Yeah, I'm going to have the ATL Civil War conversation, as it were, since how it popped up on my platform, on a couple of platforms. I felt like might as well. I mean, it is a trending war of intentional mid-Atlanta line drawing, if you will, especially since one of the particulars that are involved in this conversation is now El Presidente of the Atlanta Falcons, to the behest of a lot of Black Atlanta. I mean, why not talk about it? Why not? It's time out for a lot of y'all to stop running from the conversation. It has been long since been established why y'all truly hate the future first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback Matt Ryan, and it ain't got nothing to do with football. A lot of y'all try to rewrite history in Michael Vick's favor to deny the career of Matt Ryan. I mean, it's like the title says, you know what I'm saying? MR2 the face versus the false Vick myth. And it is. And it is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of y'all tell the Lambo win story and just turn that story all upside down. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of y'all, when talking about Vick, you don't bring up the 2005 NFC Championship game against Philadelphia, but y'all love retelling the Lambo game. Y'all have all these negatory things to say about Matt Ryan. You blame him for a defensive lapse, no adjustment made defensive loss of the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And how do y'all claim to say Michael Vick was the face of the league? Okay, I'd like to know when. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He was a Pro Bowler. He was the face of Madden. Okay, but okay, you know, so was he the face of the league over Peyton, over Favre, over Brady, over Russell? I mean, I mean, he was the face of Madden highlights. You know, but it's kind of sort of deja vu, you know what I'm saying? Because history is damn so repeating itself. But I already spoke about that dude over there in Baltimore. But I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, now the difference in this particular situation, Vick, he had exemplary skills. Now you know,
Who you told?
but he couldn't beat Campbell. Tampa and Carolina had it. No, Julius Peppers and Simeon Rice was his kryptonite. You know, to be quite frankly honest, but here's what things get lost in the sauce in this whole toward war of attrition, if you will.
You understand
You
that?
know,
What are you doing? What we doing?
Michael Vick. Okay, in that game against Green Bay, he had that 117-yard run that got the first down. But when you go back and you watch that game, you can't sit there and lie to yourself and say that defense and special teams didn't win that game because the defense had Brett Favre in the chokehold. Another absolute truth that resolves the myth of Michael Vick. You know, just like when y'all, you know what I'm saying, talk about the Super Bowl, you all blame Matt Ryan for the defense not doing their job. Y'all blame Matt Ryan for that $73 million defense not doing their job. Imagine that. You know, I mean, you throw shade, dismiss, and destroy the career of Matt Ryan, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, went to a Super Bowl, went to a couple of conference championship games. You know, he's pretty much top 10 in every quarterback statistical category. You know, how is it? It amazes me the multitude of ways that this town, this city, can find ways to throw shade on Matt Ryan. I even seen one watered down podcast that allowed Greg Street to come on and throw Matt Ryan's jersey in the trash can. Okay, and then commence to giving love and praise and adulation to the guy that put the playbook in the trunk. I mean, this is some of the activity that goes on here. When you talk about the two, everybody likes to say that Michael Vick brought the city out. He brought the city out by turning the ball over 3 times a game. He brought the city out by turning the ball over 3 times in that NFC Championship game against Philly. In which where he got Adgy Crumpler lit up. I mean, you know, y'all came to the game for Michael Vick to try to pick up chicks. To see him run, you know, I mean, the question remains: all that running. I mean, what's his record against the Bucks and Panthers? Simeon Rice and Julius Peppers. What's his record against them? I mean, y'all tear down the face of Matt Ryan and you make a false myth, try to make a false myth of Michael Vick true. I don't understand the math right now. on one hand, you got a quarterback, again, is top 10 in every quarterback statistical category for the most part. Was rookie of the year. He went to a couple of NFC Championship games, had a Super Bowl appearance. I mean, you would think that there would be some love, there would be some adulation, there would be some respect, but right now in this town, it ain't. It ain't. I mean, y'all running around here showing love to a guy that gave you Madden highlights, and missed a multitude of games due to injury because of his style of play. I'm you know what I'm saying, I'm just trying to figure it out. This war of attrition that has the city divided between Matt Ryan fans and Vick fans, which is a total constitution of Atlanta Falcons fans. The line drawn in the sand, you know, for people that think and believe, you know, that Vick's style of play is what's best for this team. Instead of actually having a quarterback that could move the offense, that could get the ball to all the weapons, make, you know, it was a consummate leader, a guy that, you know, took teams not on a vacation, but you know, paid the expenses to come to an undisclosed location and practice. You know what I'm saying, on the playbook.
Okay, throw up film on my arm then.
Then you have one quarterback that put the playbook in the trunk. You know, I mean, let's not get it confusing. My problem with Michael Vick had nothing to do with what he got arrested for. My problem with him was with all that God-given ability, and you did not take the game seriously while you were here in Atlanta back in uniform. You know, I mean, he had the opportunity to be one of the greats. Be one of the greats, but he chose being in music videos, and you know, not going to practice, and you know, and going to parties, hanging out at the club, over being an absolute leader and honing his craft to be one of the best players to play this game. But the guy that actually did that, y'all hate this man for a myriad of reasons that have nothing to do with football. Nothing. You have 31 other fan bases that would have loved to have Matt Ryan's career as their quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, would love to. And y'all blame this man for everything, you know what I'm saying, to bad parking, you know, rush hour traffic. You blame Matt Ryan for everything. Ticket prices. Matt Ryan got folks paid, got guys coaching jobs. You know what I'm saying? You know, Bennett benefited from Matt Ryan being the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons his 13 years here. You know, I mean, what was crazy. I also learned while he was a quarterback here in Atlanta that because he was the quarterback and made all the money, everything was on him. Mind you, he was quarterback. But the defenses were never able to be held accountable when Matt Ryan was the quarterback here in Atlanta Falcons. No. Never. That was the hypocritically sad part about this. You know what I'm saying? There was no standard for me. It kind of reminds you of another guy that plays quarterback right now in this particular era. You know, I mean, but how is it that even right now, when that man became when Matt Ryan became president of the Falcons, there was a whole week of what is he gonna do? Show us how not to get the right people, you know, and all of this old kind of stuff. I'm just saying, man. I'm trying to understand. If somebody can give me actual legitimate reasons for him to be hated, you know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, dead ass. But you want a leader, a professional, or you want the guy that put playbook in trunk and was in music videos? I'm just saying. How would that conversation? How would that pick go?
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, you know, as I've seen over the years, a lot of people would pick the guy that put the playbook in the trunk. You know, ironically. You know,
in the kitchen.
just you know how. And I'm genuinely speaking about the time that he was here in a Falcon uniform, not when he was in Philadelphia, not when he was in Pittsburgh, not when he was in New York. His time here in Atlanta. Y'all want Madden highlights, or y'all want contending teams with a chance to win it all? The face versus the myth. You know what I'm saying? You want the 2016 journey, closing the dome, going to the Super Bowl, or you want the Lambo dub, you know what I'm saying, history rewriting story. You know, that's the irony. That's why I call it, you know what I'm saying, the false Vick myth. Nobody, and I've sat around and I've heard motherfuckers tell their version of the story of the Lambo win. And watching that game, defense is special teams won that game. And he had motherfuckers running around him saying that Vick took over that game. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I mean, but it's easy to figure, you know, especially because in none of the Vick stories that be told, nobody brings up that NFC Championship game against Philadelphia and them 3 god-awful turnovers in which he made Brian Dawkins look like he was wearing a Falcons uniform. Again, the myth versus the face. The myth versus the face. Which do you prefer? I prefer the face myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, those awesome battles between MR2 and Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then even in his rookie year, I remember Matt Ryan rookie year, we did go to the playoffs. Did we go to the playoffs in Michael Vick's rookie year? And then every time I think about that in his rookie year, keep breaking. Let Fred Davis get down the scene for 22 yards on that 3rd and 18, which cost us the game. Yeah. I mean, you know, we could go over this time and time again, but I'm gonna take the future first ballot Hall of Famer every time in this conversation. I'm gonna take Matt Ryan every time. Every time. Every time. I mean, but I know, you know, since the majority, they're gonna take the guy that put the playbook in the trunk. You know. I'm just saying, I ain't, you know, not it's not Egyptian hieroglyphics. It's plain math. You know what I mean? The guy that, you know, carried the team, you know what I'm saying, led the team, was a consummate professional, was never in the news for bullshit, drama, none of that. He did things charitable things behind the scenes that don't get talked about enough. He donated money to this city. He helped fix the YMCA's. He, you know, he donated money to get that neonatal unit at Emory and the Children's Hospital. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, all of that. But I mean, you know, for whatever reason, that guy from West Philly that went to Boston College, got drafted 3rd overall in 2007, is hated with a passion by this city. The majority of the base in this city. But again, I would ask the question, and think about it. I would ask the question: who do you want? The face, the leader, the competitor, or the guy that put the playbook in the trunk? Leader of the Madden highlights. Think about it. Give it a thought. And answer that question honestly. Knowing what you know about both their times here and now. I'm just saying, me, myself, I'm going to pick Matt Ryan every time. Every time. Every single solitary time. But, I mean, you know, it is what it is. You like what you like. You love what you love. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have the Madden-based thought process, fantasy football based thought process, as opposed to actual football. You know, 3 different mathematical equations, and only one of them actually leads to reality. Go figure. I mean, Matt Ryan's first pass in the NFL was a 66-yard strike to Michael Jenkins. Literally. Literally. Dan Reeves got fired, with something else that doesn't, get talked about enough. But Dan Reeves got fired because in the conversation, his initial conversation with Vick, Vick didn't want to go down the road of learning how to be a quarterback. And even the late great Greg Knapp said that as well. But I mean, let that sink in. I'm strictly speaking on both these gentlemen's time here in Atlanta. Mr. Nice said, I'm going with the guy who's about to go to the Hall of Fame every time. Yes. 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 The irony, the karma, the irony and the karma that he is now the president of these Atlanta Falcons is hilarious. It's hilarious.
You ain't got to turn that on.
Why not? I mean, but like I said, when you look at the conversation on its face value, a lot of people are not going to be honest. And they're gonna go with the Madden fantasy football based answer, and that is your right, that is your choice, that is your belief. I mean, it is what it is. On that note, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go with what works. I'm gonna go with what was more realistic. I'm gonna go what was more professional. I am going to go with the one that competed. The man missed 3 games in 12 years. That 2016 run was something out of a dream to close the dome on the Packers. Another twist of irony. Close the dome on the Packers. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a buck now. The Benz was the car that Matt Ryan built. Just saying. You know what I mean? I mean, it's going to be a conversation that's going to go on and on and on because it's a conversation that has the city divided. Where you land at in that conversation. If you're honest with yourself, you're landing on the side of that conversation of number 2. You know what I mean? But then, of course, the idiot Greg Streets of the world, and more like him, you know what I'm saying? You feel the way you feel, you think the way you think. I mean, it is what it is. You have the absolute right to be an idiot. You have the absolute right to root for and stand for whatever you choose to in this particular conversation. It is what it is. But that don't necessarily mean that choice is a valid one. When you're standing on the video document evidence, the statistics, and the history itself. You know, I mean, the Stone Mountain size disrespectful mountain that is held in contempt toward Matt Ryan is laughable in itself, you know. And then a lot of the reasoning that goes behind it, you know. I mean, you symbolism over substance. You know, the black hat over the white hat. It's just what it is. That's just exactly what it is. I mean, but you know, I didn't want to keep y'all long. I just, you know, it was just something that I saw, and you know, and some comments that I saw from a video that that Mad Mike had done. Yeah, you know, just we're gonna give my 2 cents on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing on the side of the professional face versus the false myth. And, you know, some people gonna shrug it off. Some people gonna scoff at it. Some people, there are a select few that are going to agree. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is a topic. This is a dialogue. This is a debate that is gonna wage on for many, many, many moons. And right now, you have a lot of them that are, you know what I'm saying, chewing on nails because Matthew Thomas Ryan is El Presidente of the Atlanta Falcons. And on that note, man, hey, coming to the end of the Sports TW of the Week series, episode 2. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Stay tuned. Episode 3 will pop up sometime, somewhere. Yeah, because I got a few, you know what I'm saying, topics that is going to come through this, you know what I'm saying, short wave. You know what I mean? But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? To give you a little something to think about. You know. You know what I mean? You know, and I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, man, Monday with the OG. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're going to keep it A. We're going to keep it dirty. And solidly, we're going to, you know what I'm saying, keep it real with ourselves. Let your next choice be your best choice. And it's the people's OG, a.k.a. Mr. White. And I'm out.